Hi, it's Ray Doctor. So heaven or hell? Heaven or hell? How am I experiencing this situation? From a place of heaven or a place of hell? And the way I like to use that analogy is when we're rested, and have you noticed this, that something that seemed stressful that you had to do the next day, whatever it is, appointments, dealing with something, a conversation that you don't prefer to have, or just responding to an email, that it feels stressful. And then you wake up in the morning, you look at it, you feel refreshed, and it feels light. It feels like heaven. And that's how things are interpreted literally in your nervous system, which will give you feedback of what the experience will possibly be like. But it doesn't mean that it is true. And what I mean by that is, for example, just imagine if I were driving a vehicle where the road is straight, there's nothing dangerous about the road, and yet my wheels are not, they're misaligned. And so no matter if I'm driving on a straight path or road, that my car is swerving all over the place. In my experience, my interpretation of the road is that it's dangerous. And yet, it might be my wheels, it might be my consciousness. So, it's very important to remember that, how we focus on things, our attention, whether we're doing self-care, whether we're paying attention to what's going on inside of us, could be misinterpreting information in a very negative way, and therefore we experience that which is neutral as hell. We feel that stress in our body and so forth. So it is so important for us to be able to relax, to take pause, especially when we feel those reactions that come up in our bodies. Because in those moments when that happens, it's not really who we are. We're caught up in our emotions. We're caught up in a reaction. We're caught up maybe in a shadow. And not that's bad or good, but it's, do we want to respond outwardly with this? Do we want to respond from a place that's not really who we are, that place of hell? Or do we want to respond consciously and open and more relaxed to, which is more aligned with who we really are? So I'm sure that we want to experience, heaven. And here's a story also that kind of gives a good, analogy. It's a little bit different, but yet it's a cool little story. And so there was this monk, and he was meditating on a bridge, and up came this samurai who wasn't shaved. He looked like he had not taken care of himself. His blade was rusty. And he came across the monk, and he tapped the monk on his shoulders. And even though the monk was kind of in this place of bliss and by himself, and the samurai said, what's the difference between heaven and hell? And the monk didn't pay attention to him. And then the samurai raised his voice a little louder and said, "Monk, what is the difference between heaven and hell?" And then the monk ignored him again. And then finally, the samurai shouted, "Tell me the difference between heaven and hell, now." And then the monk calmly, peacefully looked at him. And he says, "Look at you. Look how you look." Why should I tell someone like you? You haven't shaved, you smell, and your blade is rusty. And then the samurai goes, "How dare you?" And he takes out a sword, he raises it up in the air, he's about to strike, and then the monk says, "That's hell." And then in that moment, that samurai becomes introspective and realizes this monk sacrificed himself, like he was willing to put his life on the line to teach him something. And he puts down his sword. He starts to cry. And then a monk looks at him and says, "That's heaven." So typically behind reactions, behind anger is sadness, is humility, neutrality, love, compassion, in a place where we really are that's aligned with our soul. So we can experience heaven on earth when we get back to our calm states. So I hope this resonates with you. Thank you for watching this short little share. And so just be aware that what you might be interpreting, what you might be reading, it could be experienced from a place of heaven or hell, depending on how relaxed and open and calm you are. So allow your interpretations to come from a place of who you really are. Have an amazing Sunday and sending light and love to you. Bye. Hi, it's Dr. Ray here. I hope you enjoyed the video. So if you'd like to learn some of these tools or these philosophies and would like to have a one-on-one conversation with me, please click the link down below and receive my free discovery call. On this call, we'll talk about what's most important to you and how to get you there. I look forward to talking to you.